Hi, I'm Brenda Ruiz, and today we're going to be doing our presentation on barn burning by William Faulkner.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm going to talk about Abner's past. So, Abner was a mercenary during the Civil War, and what this means is that Abner went to war to get paid instead of fighting for what he believed in. So, it wasn't really for the cause, but more for the money. And during his time in the war, Abner stole horses and sold them for his own profit. And it is believed that during this time that he did steal horses and during the Civil War that he got shot in the leg, which resulted in having a limp, which is described in the story. The narrator is the only one who knows about this, and he's the one that lets us know about this information. And it also indicates that he knows more than Sardi. So if Sardi were to know about all the things that his father did during the war, he wouldn't think of his father and think of him as courageous if he were to know the truth.
Okay. I will be talking about Abner's character. And Abner is a violent character who actively portrays his violence through his actions, and his actions show his violence. Abner also shows no emotion towards his family. So the way he portrays his violence is psychologically and physically. Psychologically, his emotions for his family are very cold and they're very rigid. So he doesn't really show his emotions to his family. And when he does show them, it's mostly in a demanding way. He doesn't really take in mind the feelings of his other family members. And physically, well, he burns down barns through every town that he goes to. First, the one we know for sure that he burned was Mr. Harris's barn, where the setting begins, and we could see that he's very, very violent because he hits his son when he feels that his son is going to testify against him, and his solution to not have his son testify is to hit him. And we also see his violent actions when he arrives at the Spain's house, and he tracks feces into the rug, and he doesn't even care. He just lets it sit there. And in the story, we can see when the narrator and Sardi notice that he doesn't care about the feces in the rug. So I will quote the book. Then, with the same deliberation, he turned. The boy watched him pivot on the good leg and saw the stiff foot drag round the air of the turning, leaving a final long and fading smear. His father never looked at it. He never once looked down at the rug. So we could see that he's a very self-centered person who just thinks for himself, and he's very violent.
Abner's impact as a character. Sardi sees his father as a strong, courageous man who has fought in the war, as described in the book, when he tried to defend his father by saying that he was a courageous man who fought in the war. He does not know the true intentions as to why he fought in the war, but if he were to know about all the crimes he had committed, he wouldn't really think of his father in the same way. Even if he does see his father as a courageous man, he also keeps in mind that his father does burn barns down, and he does not agree with those actions. The fact that he does this to send a message to the and throughout the whole story, we see the struggle that Sardi has with his emotions towards his father. how he contemplates leaving his home just because of the other village folks. And the impact he has on his family is the same as his family does not agree with Abner's actions, yet they choose to help him. Guards down. Because Abner knows how to control and manipulate his family using violence that causes both physical and emotional trauma. They think that if they weren't to see them in the same light as doesn't show any emotions towards them.
We can see the impact Abner has on the town. Every time he moves into a new town, he creates chaos and destruction. So we could kind of say that everything he touches, he destroys. For example, the town in where the first setting takes place. Obviously, he's the one who's taken a court for burning down the barn. He's convicted, but he's not found guilty because there's no evidence. But the Mr. Harris, he knows that he did it, and so that's his impact on the town, how he always brings destruction and violence. His overall aura is to bring violence because that's all he knows, and because he feels that he should bring violence towards anyone who has done him wrong. And he also feels that this is like the way he expresses himself, so he has a destructive attitude, and he portrays that throughout his character, and he shows it with his actions and how he impacts the whole town. And then the way he impacts the text is basically through Sardi, his son. His whole impact on the text is most likely to bring out the best in the rest of the characters. So because he's mostly the antagonist and Sardi is the protagonist, because he knows he has to do the right thing and try to stop his father from burning down another barn, we can see that the impact is mostly negative throughout the text, and he's the one who's always antagonizing, and he's the one who's always starting a problem or causing the problem. He's mostly a destructive character, so that's his impact on the text. And since Abner looks up to Sartoris looks up to Abner, it's mostly in a way not to look up to him as inspiring, but mostly in a way to help him because he knows that his father isn't right and he has to do the right thing.
I didn't know what to do.
Huh?